What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Spicy Adventures. That's a nice sounding motorcycle. But yeah, you're looking at a 2023 Honda Civic Type R. Um, I finally had a chance to drive one, and I bought it. So yeah, here's my new car. As you guys have seen in my previous videos, I had a 2008 Honda Civic Si. I sold that last Thursday to a nice gentleman and his wife from San Jose. So thank you, Craig, and your wife May, for buying the car off of me and getting something you guys needed as well. I kept contemplating on buying something newer or not. I loved having no car payments. The Si was more than fun to drive around and have a blast with, but I wanted to play around with the idea of getting something new. So from some of my other videos, you guys saw me test drive a 2025 Acura Integra Type S, and I had put a deposit down on one, and I thought I was pretty set on getting the Type S, but I thought it'd be a no-brainer to test drive the Type R, right? They're virtually the same car, but the Type S is, more luxurious, a little bit different looks, right? But essentially the same car. I'm not going to get into all the specs because the specs have been done over and over again. If you don't know what the Civic Type R is, like, look it up, you know what I mean? But I found this one for sale in Sacramento at Nielo Volvo. I know I had a Volvo dealer, right? And so it's used, 2023 model, and they're asking 42,000 for it, right? And that's not cheap, it's not cheap. But went and looked at it, took it for a drive. They were very nice at the dealer, very respectful. I'm also very respectful, very humble. I made an appointment on Sunday to show up at 1 o'clock on Monday, which was yesterday, and decided to take it for a spin. That was quite an adventure as well. I didn't have a car anymore because I sold my FG2, right? And so then I had to ride my KTM all the way to Napa for my buddy Dan to be able to drive me over to Sacramento from Fairfield, and then test drove the car. I liked it. I felt like the price was right. The APR is pretty good, right? I had the money down. I got extended warranties and all that type of stuff, and yeah, so I brought it home, and then but that was an adventure itself too, coming home, because we had to go back to Fairfield. We had to drop off his car. I had to jump on the KTM, and he got to drive the Type R all the way to Boulder Creek. And then after that, I had to drop off the motorcycle at my place and take him all the way back to Fairfield, and then drive all the way back home. So that was the day. My appointment was at 1 p.m. We got there at about 12. We got there a little bit early. I didn't get home until midnight, so it was like a 12-hour purchase. Actually, probably longer, because I left my house at like 9 a.m. and I got to Fairfield by like 10:30, 10:45. And then we hit the road by 11, and then we got to Sacramento by 12, right? So yeah, so pretty long day, 9 a.m. till midnight, so to complete the purchase of this car. But yeah, she's super clean. She's all stock. She has a couple like upgraded things like tinted windows, right? It's got the all-season floor mats. It has this illuminated Type R foot panel here, which is nice. I like that a lot. But yeah, but pretty much all stock. The red interior is like just lovely. These seats kick ass. Like, that was what this car had over the Type S. Every time you step in, it plays this little music right here, and it's so cool, and it shows you Type R. Like, that is so freaking cool. But yeah, you know, the interior of this car, just the way it looks, definitely speaks to me a little bit more than the Acura Integra Type S. Type S interior wasn't bad. Just the seats weren't up to par, I believe. You know, the seats felt fine. I'm sure they're super comfortable, but they aren't quite as bolstered as this. And you know, I'm a pretty small dude, only 5'6", about 155 pounds, so I need a seat that can kind of hold me in. I'm kind of sliding all over the place. In my Civic Si, I was kind of sliding all over the place, and it was, you know, fairly well bolstered. But these are really good. Yeah, but here she is, 2023 Honda Civic Type R. She's all mine finally. I've always wanted to own an R ever since back in the day when they had the Integra Type R back in 1997, and I've had a lot of R related cars. I owned a 1995 Acura Integra GSR, but I had put the B18C5 Integra Type R motor in it with the GSR transmission. I wanted the Type R transmission, but the guy only wanted to sell the motor and not the transmission, which I understand. You know, it was a better transmission than the GSR with the limited slip differential and shorter gear ratios and stuff. So it was fine. You know, I've had an Acura RSX Type S, right? Another R-like car, but not quite an R. You know, and then I had my latest 2008 Honda Civic Si, right? And coupe, and they don't even have those in Japan, so you know, that's kind of exclusive to us here in the States and across the sea, right? So so I think the FG2 coupe is very unique in that aspect, that, you know, it wasn't a quote-unquote JDM car, right? In Japan they only got the 4-door, and then in Europe they got the, you know, they got the Civic Type R hatch before the FA series came out. But yeah, I've driven the FK8, which is the previous model Type R. My buddy Zazri bought one and let me drive it. I drove it when it was completely stock, and then I drove it again when he had all these bolt-ons and tunes to it, when it had like over 500 horsepower. And that thing was ridiculous with 500 horsepower. Yeah, sure, fast and straight line, but I didn't like the driving dynamics anymore. I don't plan to mod this car with any bolt-ons or anything. I might put a, you know, maybe an exhaust on it just to make it a little bit louder, but, you know, try to maintain the catalytic converters, because since we live in California, I don't want to deal with all that nonsense. You know, yeah, I know I have 5 years until I have to smog it, so I don't have to smog it until 2028, right? But even then, if you get pulled over, it's just not worth it, you know, not anymore. Everything's so expensive and crazy nowadays that yeah, that I don't really want to deal with that stuff. Yeah, so far I love it. This is owned it for about 24 hours now, so I guess this is my 24-hour reveal and review. You know, just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And this is Highway 9 right now, up to Saratoga Road here. Electronic handbrakes. How do you guys feel about these? You know, I wish it had a real handbrake, but you know, that's okay too. It's not a big deal, I guess. Because it's front wheel drive, right? So I'm not completely torn if I can't pull the e-brake. You know, front wheel drives, you know, it's fun to do in a front wheel drive as well, but you know, it's not something that, you know, I want to do anyway. You know, to get the car sideways and stuff like that. You know, maybe in an empty parking lot or something, but never out here on the streets. or at the track. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. So the audio system is pretty good for what it is. It's a Bose system. The infotainment is I wish it was a little bit faster. It is ready for an update, so maybe I'll update it when I get home. Yeah, it connects to the phone okay. I noticed that my phone charger here doesn't work all the time. So you other FL5 owners, do you guys have that trouble? You know, I have a pretty thin case. I've even taken the case off and put my phone here, and it still doesn't charge every single time. So I may just run like a wire, you know, just to make sure I can get it to charge all the time. So yeah, I love all these little controls. You know, they're really neat. The honeycomb mesh and the way that you can move these vents around, it's really slick. The hazard button's in a perfect spot. These knobs have a nice, like, shiny chrome-ish finish. You know, there's not a ton of piano black in here. These illuminate right here and turn red at night, which is just, I love it that this is like an LED light here that lights up red. Yeah, this is my first keyless car I've ever owned. You just keep the key in your pocket and you just take off and drive, right? Well, you know, you gotta put the parking brake down, and then, you know, I guess this is a new thing, this brake hold thing, right? So when you're on a hill, for all you newbies that, you know, didn't drive sticks back in the day, you know, we didn't have this button, right? You either had to pull the brake and sit there and wait, or you hold the brake with your foot, or you balance it with the clutch and the gas, right? And you kind of get the car to sit there. But now you have this brake hold button, and when you get to an uphill slope, the car would just sit there. Now you don't have to balance anything, which is pretty cool, I guess. You know, you could drive with it on the whole time too. I did that the other day when I was coming home, and I was like, oh wow, you can just leave it on. Yeah, but we'll see if I ever have to use it again. I was just testing it out, but I haven't turned it on ever since then. All right, so to turn off the e-brake, you have to step on the brake and then push down, and then you feel the brake pedal like modulate a little bit. It's a little freaky. So yeah, so don't get freaked out. Like, that's what it does, okay? And now once the e-brake is down, now we can go. Clutch is very nice on this car. It's stiff but not overly stiff, and it's very communicative. And yeah, it does everything perfectly. The clutch, I don't think it's too hard. I don't think it's too soft. You know, it kicks back good. It has good clutch engagement feel. Yeah, I think it's perfect. This is like the log R menu here, which is pretty cool. It shows you all the stuff that you're doing while you're driving. I have it in individual mode right now, so the Type R has a few driving modes, right? It's got Comfort, Sport, plus R, and Individual, so it's got 4 driving modes or riding modes. The individual one you can customize. So right now I'm on plus R engine performance. I'm on plus R steering. I'm on plus R. I'm on comfort suspension. You know, I'm on comfort engine noise, because the Type R has fake engine noise and I don't really like it. So put it on comfort. It makes it a little quieter. I don't have to listen to it the whole time. Then I'm also on Sport Auto Rev Match. Yeah, I love the Auto Rev Match on this one. On the FK8, I didn't like. I would manually rev match on the FK8, but on this one I don't feel like I have to. You know, the Auto Rev Match is so good on this one. It's fast. It's crisp. It hits it perfect every time. Like, way smoother and faster than I can ever do it, you know, by myself. So yeah, let's have a listen to the Civic Type R here. car is fast, you guys. This is the fastest car I've ever owned, in a straight line and in corners. I have all the VSA on and stuff right now. I'm still trying to get used to this car, you know. I've only owned it for about 24 hours, so still trying to feel out the characteristics, see what it does. Can't wait to do like an autocross with it, or a real track day. Now this is a car I can actually track. My SI, you know, couldn't really track it because I would overheat the damn rotors all the time and pads, the brakes. Shift lights are so cool on this car. My God. 9 from Saratoga, guys. You guys have heard me say it before. This is the best stretch of road when you have a clear run. It can also be very treacherous though, so be careful. Man, there's so much grip on this car. It's freaking ridiculous. Oh, the rotation there. Barely lifted off the throttle a little bit and the rear end just kind of stepped out. Beautiful. Trail braking on this car is just absolutely beautiful. Oh man. Turbocharged, 300 horsepower, huh? Oh man, I caught up to this guy. I saw this guy way back there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. My first Type R. I am absolutely loving it. You know, I've driven the Integra Type R, and now I've driven the Integra Type S, and now I've driven the Civic Type R. And, you know, every single one of those cars has their own thing, you know. Although the Integra Type S and the Civic and the current Civic Type R and the current Integra Type S, you know, they're pretty much the same car. Just depends on like your looks, right? Do you like the big wing like the CTR has? Do you want more comfort like the Integra has? I think I missed this turn. You know, do you want the more edginess of the Civic Type R? You know, what made me, like I said, I was super torn between the Type S and the Type R. I didn't know what I was gonna buy. Honestly, I did not know. That I put that deposit on the Type S, and I was willing to pay that price. You know, it was 54 grand, brand new, no markup. And I was like, okay, I like it enough. Like I would pay, right? But like I said, I was just like, I have to drive a Type R somewhere, you know, and called a few dealers and nobody wanted to let me drive one. I mean, I get it, it's a special car, right? But like Acura Fremont, they just like, yeah, come on by, come and drive the Type S. Like, it's no problem at all, you know. And I was like, cool, you know. And all the other dealers that I called, they were like, nah, you can't drive the Type R. I'm like, really? And then, you know, they're marking up the Type R's like crazy too, you know. 5, 10K markups, even more sometimes. I've seen Type R's marked up to like 60 grand. And it's like, come on, man. You said it's like this car's been out. You know, it's like it's not a new platform anymore, and there's plenty of them around. It's, you know, it's not like you can't find one. I guarantee you guys right now, if you just look up the used market for Civic Type R's, you're gonna see a friggin' bunch of them. You know, go to CarMax, go to Cars.com, go to Carvana. You're gonna find them all over the place. So it's like, so what's the big deal anymore? You know, I'm glad that, you know, a lot of the Integra Type S's seem like they're coming down in price, or not coming down, but at least, you know, being sold at MSRP. So that makes that car definitely more desirable. Now, you know, like if I was gonna pay 50 grand for this, I would just buy the Type S. But if I can get this for 40, then I'm buying this, you know, plain and simple. Let's see who's here. We got a couple guys hanging out here. Let's see. The prestigious skid pad, everybody calls it. Well, yep. There's my stock Civic Type R for you guys. That's what she does. And I'm super happy with the purchase. You know, I know it's a pretty penny. It ain't cheap to own. But, you know, I've worked hard. I've paid my dues. And now it's time for me to, you know, to actually enjoy something. Yeah. I'm probably gonna sell the Aprilia and just ride the KTM now that I have this car. Like, this car will give me all the thrills I need. I don't need the sport bike anymore. You know, having two motorcycles is kind of unpractical anyway. And KTM can kind of do everything I needed to do. And I just like to chill out on the bike now. You know, it's not about the speed anymore on the bike. It's not even about the speed anymore on this car either, you know. I just want to be able to hit it when I want to hit it, you know. And this car is gonna be able to do that, and some. Yeah. So, time to reduce the fleet a little bit. So I sold the SI, probably sell the Aprilia, then I'll keep this and the KTM, and we'll see what else the future holds, you know. Yeah, but Civic Type R, you guys, it's here, it's mine finally, and you guys will be seeing a lot more content. So, yeah. Well, thanks for joining me on this episode, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.